Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. On today's video, we're going to feature a cheap Facebook Marketplace find. Hello, Frank, and welcome to New Jersey Outdoor Adventures.
What's going on, Patrick? Happy to be here, my man. So this is the Barefoot van, a 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon I got about 4 years ago. Buddy, Captain Mike, called me up, and I'd always wanted one of these, and I had seen a Major League Baseball player, Daniel Norris, who showed up at spring training in a van like this, and I really admired that will to kind of explore the wild, and I wanted to do it myself. So my buddy Captain Mike calls me up one day and he says, "Frank, I got your van," and it's on Route 9 in Waretown, which happened to be where we grew up. So we go down and we saw it, and I showed up with enough cash to buy it and bought it, put a bunch of money into it over the years to kind of get it road ready and back up and running. And what you're looking at today is currently where we stand. So we're going to take you on the inside. First things first, and I think we can go front to back. If you look at the power box there, a lot of folks always wonder how energy gets supplied in one of these. I just used a $120 power box that I got from Walmart. You know, that little white cord that's plugged in right now, the power box isn't on, but we ran that and all the way down through the decking up to here. So if you move the fan, this little outlet right here has all the power for the lights, charge a phone, it can charge the fan throughout the night, which you definitely need when it's hot and you're sleeping in it. The floor is rhino lining. There were some spots on the floor that needed some work, and a buddy of mine suggested that we throw some rhino lining down. You know, it's great for a beach vehicle because it can't get ruined. So, you know, sand, water, anything can pour on that, and it's good to go. I think one of the things that another interesting spot, we put a little bench in here, so if you want, I can sit here, have a cup of coffee. A buddy of mine can sit there, a girlfriend, whoever, can sit there. We measured it out so that, for example, one of the things you need when you're on the road is a little cooking set, and this, very simple. Pop it right here. It's propane run, and anytime you want to cook something, very easy to do. The sink, which you will see, is just a hand pump sink. A lot of boats have stuff like this. Hand pump sink, very simple. And this was a Captain Mike special, as was a lot of the stuff in this van. He's definitely the kind of friend you need if you're doing a project like this, just because he's brilliant and really good with doing this kind of work. So this is for the brown water, and it's simply a funnel underneath the sink, and this is your clean water. You pull these out pretty easily. Little tube runs up to the sink, and here you go. Nice little hand pump. Bang. All the clean water you need, which is definitely nice to help clean some dishes. The thing that I love most about it is just the vibe of the vehicle. You have here just like a tiki deck. You know, we just use regular floorboards. We painted it kind of blue and yellow, which is my elementary school colors, believe it or not, the Waretown Mariners. The table itself, that again was another thing that Captain Mike and I came up with. Very rough finish to the top of it. We threw some nautical rope on the side, painted it blue and gold again. One of the measurements that was important to us was a spot for a cooler. Now this is just a cooler you get at Walmart, 30 bucks I think it was. It keeps your stuff cold for 2-3 days with a bag of ice or two. So, you know, I was down in Florida with this thing for about, I'd say 5-6 months, and you know, I would go to a town, 2-3 days worth of food right in this. So for 15 bucks, I had enough food to get through the couple of days, and didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Storage wise, these were the dishes I brought with me. You know, simple. This, I put my salads in this. You know, 3 bucks you're getting a bag of salad at a store. My cups, always got these on the road anywhere I could. Captain Tony's, which is I think my favorite spot down in Key West, where I spent a bunch of time. That was Key West in this van. I did 2 extended stays down there, and that was just so fun, man. The Captain Tony's is a great little spot. Lucy's is another bar down there on Duval Street. Retired Surfers Bar and Restaurant. As you know, Key West is not known for its waves, but Really cool spot down there. So that covers the storage for just dishes and stuff like that. Oh, one sweet thing. This bowl. You know, it's like $4, and a lot of campers know these things exist, but if you're a regular person trying to figure out a way to do this, here is the only bowl you need. It's big enough for cereal, soup, whatever, and it condenses down into that. So really cool purchase. Another thing I love about this are the shark curtains. So I love sharks. I think they're awesome. One of the coolest stories from this van was I met a guy, Chris, who trains alligators. He rescues alligators down in Florida. He does shark diving trips, and he had me swimming with an alligator down there. I actually have a gator tooth up there. I'll show you. Hold on. We get sidetracked in here. There you go. Yep, a little gator tooth. That's an alligator tooth. Pretty cool. This shark, just an indication of how cool sharks are. I know some kids will be watching this channel. This is a feather from a friend who worked at a wildlife refuge. They gave me that for some good luck and good vibes when I was down in Florida, and that's a pretty neat little thing. So the shark curtains, went free diving with bull sharks down in Jupiter, Florida with that dude Chris. He had me swim with an alligator, Casper, in a place called in Homestead, Florida, at the Everglades Outpost. That was an awesome experience, one you would never expect. So the shark curtains, very simple. I got the fabric at a little shop, D.E. Jones or whatever it was, and put some blackout material behind it, measured it out, and my local dry cleaner, I'm not the most handy person with sewing. My local dry cleaner sewed them up for me. I cut them, I measured them, I pinned them together so that the back was all good and you could have blackout. And we strung it up with this rope because it was very important for us not to go into this fabric up top, because this is all original. And in these types of vehicles, to have this good condition, the seats, the ceiling are all original and they're in great condition, very well taken care of, and that's rare in a vehicle from 1985. So my dry cleaner hooked us up with the shark curtains, which I love. Very simple. I mean, just like this. And then if I'm really worried about people creeping in, which I really wasn't, to be quite honest with you. Simple as that. A little suction cup. So instead of $900, which some companies or places might charge you to do custom curtains, it took some time, obviously, and thinking about it, and a buddy of mine really helped me out, but we did this for probably $120. And they're exactly what I wanted, and fun and cool. What I'm talking about next is another storage thing. And again, I looked up on the internet. I knew how much space I had between the leg of the table and the seat, and found this bin which fit perfectly, probably $10, $12. And this is all the clothing that I brought with me to Florida on that trip, 5-6 month trip. A couple pairs of board shorts, rash guard, some jeans, some socks, barely, because I'm not a big sock guy. Just some t-shirts, tank tops, and that is the amount of clothing I needed, because again, you're going to the beach, you're just hanging out, you're working out, training, and doing things like that. And it just slides in there. A little yoga mat, because that's important for me to stay flexible and nimble. Another thing that I just loved and needed to have were white Christmas lights. To me, that is just like the tiki bar vibe kind of feeling to it that I was really searching for when I put this thing together. And that's all run off that power box that went off the top. Obviously, you can't see the light too much, but it's very simple. You just press this button, that turns the thing on. Everything's plugged in, again, from this cable back to this outlet, and that's what you're running everything off of. So the fan, good to go. That's very helpful with bugs. A lot of people say, oh, well, how do you have screens? And I do. I never really use them, because with the fan, usually you're keeping bugs out. And it's not like you're sleeping with the windows all the way open all night. And if you're at a beach town you really like, you're only sleeping 5-6 hours anyway. So another thing that to me is pretty important storage-wise, especially when you're on the road a bunch, this is original storage. So even you could see very easily we could have extended the deck another inch and this would have been rendered obsolete. So it was important for us not to do that. So I can show you that thing. This comes out Very simple. And then this, and that gets, you know, down into just some extra space for really anything you need. And, you know, goggles when I went swimming with the shark or scuba diving. This baseball, which I got at a spring training game, which can definitely take us to where, you know, some of these dollar bills came from. One of the things you'll see in the Florida Keys especially is a bunch of dollar bills, you know, stapled to the bar or the wall. That comes from an old tradition that before people went out to sea, they would nail their money to the bar so that it was there when they got back. So these dollar bills, as you will notice, have a bunch of different folks that we've met on my travels. Don Mattingly, who I met down at spring training. He's a former Yankee, one of my favorite players ever. Daniel Norris, I met him at spring training. He's, you know, again, was one of the guys who I saw had done this. He signed a dollar bill, just keep living. A bunch of friends, you know, these are guys I grew up with. A guy I met on the road, another buddy of mine, really close friend. Dirk Bentley has a dollar bill back there. I met him. That was really neat. Just a really cool experience. One of my catchphrases, you'll see how, you know, any van like this has to have a little signboard, as cliche as that may be. And it's just a daily reminder. You know, it's a good day for a good day. Let's go. Let's get after it. Let's keep moving and do these things that you don't think you're capable of doing, but you really are. Next thing I'm going to do is kind of get into the bedding. Move this out of the way. The guitar. I'm not a die-hard guitar player, but, and this is another sweet little quick story while I'm doing the bed. I was in Key West and I had met somebody who was playing at a local restaurant there called Pinchers, which is on Duval Street, and I knew how to play Take It Easy by the Eagles on guitar. So this thing very simply just folds down, pull this forward, put this down, very simple, and there's my bed. You know, bedding is another thing that can be expensive and difficult to figure out, especially if you don't want to sleep in a spot this big when your space is limited. I measured this out, got it from somebody who sells this in like Michigan or something, measured it out, I think under $100. I got the mattress I needed to give me a comfortable spot to sleep. And you know, if you look at it, you have basically a full-size bed that you're just able to crash in and hang out. And it's really nice with the fan, that side door open, and the back open. Really nice airflow. And again, just exactly what you need. So that's kind of your sleeping situation. Very simple. On the back there, I've got a bike rack. I found a bike from a 77-year-old electrician named Jim. It's a green bike that he refurbished. He wanted $45 for it. I think I gave him 50 because I felt bad taking it for so cheap. That was Gator the Bike, it's called. I still have it at my place in Bradley. You know, so this folds forward very easily. Pull it back. Bike rack. You have a storage rack up here. Throw a surfboard. Really anything that you need. And that's just very simple. You know, these are simple, cheap clips with a bungee. If you need to put something up top, you do very easily. Another thing that was important to me, and you know, as we walk around the side of the van, you'll see a manatee sticker. I love manatees. I don't know why. I've always loved them. This is the original paint on this thing, and it reminds me kind of a beat-up old manatee. You know, some barnacles, aka some rust, which for 1985 original body, this thing is in really good shape, rust-wise. But I like it. I think it adds some character. You have some scratches again. You know, has that manatee feel to it. The same color, some blue and gray. Got my manatee sticker right here. And I'm gonna hop in so I can tell you another story or so. But one of the coolest things was, and I love the way it looks from the front, you know, just riding down the road. Have my Bradley Beach hat. that was important for me to have little spots of home, especially when I was traveling through little beach towns there, down south. You know, again, really simple setup in here. You hop in, you got the Rhino lining, still has probably Florida beach sand in it. If you look here, you can kind of see the extra level. This had started to rust through. So instead of, you know, doing all this crazy work to it to fix that, we just threw a piece of metal down, Rhino lined over it, and that in itself is a huge cost to Rhino line a vehicle. But, you know, I had a buddy of mine, again, who helped me out with it. So another thing, oh yeah, that take it easy thing, let me finish that and I'll show you the tattoo. So, I love the song Take It Easy by the Eagles. You know, it starts out running down the road trying to loosen my load. You know, I was at a point in my life where I was between jobs and I had some stuff cooking. I was trying to get into the military at 35 years old, which is crazy in itself. Trying to get a new job and all these things. And this was a really good thing for me to be able to do, to just kind of cruise down to Florida, fly back and forth for job interviews and things like that. And everything worked out great in the end. But I played Take It Easy on guitar at a little beach bar in Key West on Duval Street. So like that, talk about a lunchbox moment that I'll never forget. Still starts up pretty good. Even though I was gone, I got into the Army National Guard. I was gone for 6 months for training. And, you know, this thing was sitting for a while. So still starts up nice and good. Purring kind of loud. That's it. She starts right up. You know, some minor issues that need to get fixed in it, but you know, when I got this thing on the side of the road, that's what you get when you have a project like this.
So I scan the Facebook Marketplace ads a lot, just because I'm always looking for some cool camping RVs, homemade stuff.
Yep.
And I saw this one. I was like, wow, you know, for the type of money that this is offered for someone that's looking to jump into the lifestyle and maybe not necessarily live in it full time and go out on the road, but for a period of time to hit the road, this is a great value. And the things you did here, you know, really show you that you don't need to build a very expensive camper van or buy a $200,000 camper van. You know, you could spend a small amount of money, do some mods, do some upgrades, and get the lifestyle.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like a time machine.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for him to come back with the new ones that go with Europe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, this one's making a comeback early.
Are you a homeowner?
Yeah.
I grew up in that house.
Oh, right on, man. There you go.
Yeah, I grew up in that house. And then my brother bought it. He sold it and moved with his wife.
Well, it's nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, take care of yourself, dude. And
So
that's the
did-
fun thing. I mean, you know, that's the fun thing about these cars. You know, this guy, I'd never seen that guy in my life. And, you know, just stop and talk to you. I mean, that's how a lot of these dollar bills got written up here. Somebody wants to talk to you and sign a dollar bill for the van.
I've seen this van for several years biking up the coast through Bradley Beach, and I'm like, man, I got to meet this guy and hear the story, because I could definitely tell it had a lot of character to it. And I didn't even make the connection when I saw it for sale on Marketplace that it was the same exact van. So I'm glad that I was able to meet you. Do you have any tips for our viewers? We have a lot of viewers that are just researching buying or building a camper van or maybe something like this. Do you have any tips for them? Anything that kind of you learned along the way that you might want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, Patrick, look, man, and this, again, you know, I had come out of a job that I was a district chief of staff for a congressman, not exactly the type of profession you might expect seeing a guy rolling around in this van. And we lost an election, and a buddy of mine, Captain Mike, who again, he's like the big brother I never wanted, you know, he said to me, he's like, dude, you just got to start this thing now. I had the vehicle for a while. I used to love driving around town in it. And that was my opportunity. I knew I had 5-6 months between my next gigs and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next in life. And very simply, you just got to do it. You have to start it, you know, and whether it's buying this thing and, you know, again, if the right price doesn't come in, I'm in no rush to sell this. You know, buying this thing or buying an old conversion van at a construction site, $300 worth of lumber, and you can make a bed frame and a storage thing and have yourself a place to kind of cruise around in and hang out at a beach town or wherever you want to hang. I mean, You can do it cheaply. YouTube is everybody's best friend when it comes to this stuff. Somebody may get something out of this video that they never would have thought of. You know, the buckets of water under there. I think you were saying before, it's so simple, it's genius. And you know, you do something like that. I think that cost me $40 between the, maybe $80, whatever, between the sink, the hand pump, and the water. I mean, this thing, $19.95 at Walmart. A lot of people go crazy trying to buy, you know, set up a big thing to cook in. Number one, you're not cooking as much as you think you're gonna when you're on the road, so get that in your mind. But something like this, run by a little propane, and you know, you're good to go for making some ground turkey or whatever you want to do. You know, I mentioned the military thing. I was training 3 times a day at different gyms. Everyone's like, oh, where do you shower? Very simple. Most gyms, especially Planet Fitnesses down in Florida, they're 24 hours. And you buy a membership for $20 a month, you can go in any one anywhere. So you have a shower, you have a place to work out. Down in Key West, I was working out a ton down there. Old Town Fitness, which is just a great gym I love. Obviously my hometown gym here, Jersey Shore Fitness Shop. You know, working out was a very big component of me being on the road and running and getting in shape for that.
So what's next? You're selling this, you're gonna sell it. I know you will, it's gonna happen because this is, I think it's a good value for what you have it listed for. If you were to get another one, build another one, what would be next for you?
I'm either gonna go with the Westfalia, you know, the pop top camper, because it's just bigger. You know, it's not just me anymore. And, you know, so you have that. I'm thinking about an RV, you know, maybe a tow behind trailer, something along those lines. I'm very much, you know, and there's a guy, Jesse Itzler, who talks about this all the time, building your life resume. You know, doing things that may not necessarily translate into some job or something on that level, but like, what a cool experience I have for the rest of my life. Every dollar bill in here, you know, it's my childhood idol, Don Mattingly, who I got to meet and tell him I had a van from 1985, which is a great year for him. You know, so building your life resume, doing cool things that may seem really difficult and hard, and you know, the whole undertaking of it seems crazy, like, what are you doing, dude? But the reality is, something's going to be next, and it's not just going to be sitting around waiting for, you know, time to go by.
Well, thank you for taking the time
you bet, brother. You bet,
to give us a tour of your, I love it. I love this 85 Volkswagen, and I love the conversion you did. It's so simple, it's so easy, anybody could do it, and they could just jump out and do the lifestyle. I see, I'm following a few projects locally that people are building camper vans from scratch.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, now some of them are 8, 9, 10 months in, and they're just not out there. Someone could do this in a weekend.
We took, you know, and it needed mechanical stuff to get back up on the road, and you know, that's the thing I also want to tell people. A lot of folks think you're going to buy a van like this and go on some trip and become Instagram famous. That is not the case. You buy a van like this, or any van, or any vehicle that's 30 years old, you're going to have issues with it. You're going to be driving down the street. I'll never forget, I was driving down the street in Florida. I was going to meet up with some friends I had met, and it wouldn't start. It just wouldn't start. Now, it was a simple fix, but that took me a day to find a local mechanic, and you have to be able to do that. And I remember I slept in the parking lot, and I was running like a bunch of miles that day, and one of the guys who worked there came in and was like, "You're pretty crazy." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you've just been running around a circle in the parking lot for like 2 hours." I'm like, "Hey man, this is what I need to do right now to get it in." So, you know, it's a project, it's something to work on, and it's fun, man. It's a once in a lifetime thing that you can do every weekend. But this stuff literally took about a week or two, you know, to get from New Jersey to Florida. Very simple.
Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love it. We'll see you soon.